What's going on, everybody? This is a segment from the Nerdgasm Talk podcast. If you like podcasts, well, why don't you come join us as the crew gets silly and Philly while we sit to talk about the latest in comics, games, movies, and all things pop culture. You guys can listen to our whole show on all the podcasts apps. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys get your podcasts from. And make sure you guys also support the channel by subscribing to the Nerd Coalition Studios. And for the gaming needs, make sure you subscribe to Nerd Coalition Level Up. This is the Nerd Coalition. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And now, feel the Nerdgasm. We all know Donald Glover, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We're a fan of Donald Glover. He has this show called Atlanta. And me and Lady Sketch, we watched. Did you? I finished season 1. Did you finish season 1, Lady Sketch?
I believe I did finish season 1, which is why I'm so lost as to how we got to where we at now. Because I ain't keep up after that.
Now, I went into season 2 because that's where you got to Tay Perkins. And I was just like...
Well, yeah, we saw a couple episodes from that. But besides that...
Yeah. Now, look, I'm telling y'all. Atlanta is some good satire. For those, who don't know. And Atlanta is always trying to teach you something. So, this episode on season 4 just came out a couple weeks ago. Somebody was like, "Hey, you gotta check out Atlanta season 4 episode 8." I dismissed it. I was just like, "Okay, but I'm not caught up yet. I'm just, I go to season 3 and stuff like that first. I only start like season 2." But then I was watching. I watched Double Toasted on YouTube, and I was like,
"That's a name I ain't hear in a while."
Yeah, everybody was talking about this damn show. I was like, what did Donald Glover do again? Because I remember when everybody was talking about that Tay Perkins episode, that episode
was intense.
Yeah, it was intense. I was just like, okay, let me see what they talk about. I watched their review, and I was like, wait a minute. They did a mockumentary about the guy who, quotations, my fingers are made the Goofy movie?
See, and that's why I was confused. When we first started watching it, it's like, with the Teddy Perkins episode, it was still wrapped into the actual show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This had nothing to do with the show. I was just like, what is going on? He's just trying to get...
That's not... Because the what's it called? The Black Network thing. That is a station within the show.
So... Okay, so I get it. It's kind of like there are shows where it's like within the show. What was that thing? That Finding LaToya thing from... That wasn't Insecure. I can't remember what it was.
Probably LaToya like Jackson?
No.
Oh.
It was like... It might have been Insecure. There's little things where they have like shows within a show.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like a little spin-off kind of thing. Okay. All right. I guess that's a tie-in. Because I was like, what does this have to do with Atlanta? But...
Yeah.
All right.
So... Yeah, because that is a show that they a network that they have within the Atlanta universe.
Okay.
So this one was just more like, okay, well, this is a story that they're gonna pull out. Cause I'm just like, it would be cool to make a series of different side shows just based on this network. So they talk about this guy named Thomas Washington, who wanted to create the biggest black movie,
the blackest movie
ever at Disney.
On Disney.
When it was talking about the Goofy movie. First of all, we all fans of the Goofy movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that we could talk about how that's one of the best. Like, I used to watch Goofy movie on repeat when it came out.
Power of cheese.
Like, I could almost quote that thing line for line, almost. Of how much me and my sister and my friends watched the Goofy movie. The Goofy movie 2 came out. I was like, stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't need to do that. Y'all got to stop making sequels.
So I said, well, I was just like, at least if you're gonna do it by the same people. Well, I don't know if it's the same people or not, but when I was watching this thing, I was like, yo, this thing feels so real.
It really does. It feels like they really did a documentary. I don't know how everybody in this is playing it straight like they are.
They played it real straight.
I was like, how is this happening?
They played this real straight of how this guy that grew up in L.A., you know what I'm saying, obviously in the hood, that he was an animator, he was a nerd, and everybody used to call him white when he was younger. and how that they made a mistake at Disney and they thought they was hiring a Tom Washington, it would be a Thomas, and it was like this black guy that's now the new CEO.
Bruh, when they had the picture of him squatting with the piece out on the table, I lost it. I said, "Oh no, oh fucking no!"
And this is also a spoof of, if anybody read the book with the spook who sat by the door. And they did kind of made a movie about it back in the 70s, I think it was.
It's a book.
It is a book, but
read
they did.
The book.
I agree with you.
I'm just saying, read the book.
Because no movie came out in the 70s is good. Okay, so I'm just saying.
Absolutely true, but you get more details you get more of the actual concept from the book. So yes, that's what the title is based off of.
Yeah, and what should have been the red flag right there.
Absolutely.
To be completely honest with you, and then how. All this stuff, and there has been murmurs that everybody was talking about, like, hey, y'all know Goofy Black, right?
All the time. Even the guy on Double Toasted, like the white guy on Double Toasted was like, I had heard people say when I was a kid, Goofy was a single black dad, and I was just like, what? But I guess, and
look, they have a lot. Like when I was a kid, I really didn't pay attention to all that stuff. But I was like, but when you watch it as an adult. Like the black elements that's in the Goofy movie. Yeah. A lot. I'm just like, yeah, that tracks. You know what I'm saying? That does track. But it was really talking about how he had a son named Max, and then they actually used to go fishing, and he wanted to illustrate that in the show, and how they was he was getting more and more, I guess he was getting blacker as the show was going, as the production of the show was going on.
Yes, he was not trying to be. He wasn't code switching. He wasn't trying to be corporate anymore. He was just like, I'm gonna be blackity black.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
Absolutely.
It had me die. Can you remember the when he was in the class and then he was talking about you had the black riders? You see the white guy coming there with with the crutches, ACC. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about right here. This man went to a couple of black barbecues, so they said the wrong thing, got his ass whooped.
But now he understands more how to draw us. I said, what? That one and what did he say? That I was just like, oh, this man is crazy. Oh, when he was like, the budget was getting out of control, and he was like, do you have the budget under control? He said, sure I do. I'm Goofy. And then he started doing a laugh, but it was like a broken goofy laugh. I said, yo, who is right?
I was like, yo,
Donald Glover is insane.
And like I said, this whole document was about this man going through a down spiral, and then they was like, okay, we really had to get rid of this guy, and we even offered him $75 million to leave, and he started like turning into Goofy, and he was being wronged his family, started hitting his son and all that stuff like that. And then when they got him off the project, and then is everybody all right over there? Oh, okay.
Oh, that's probably my chair you hear. My fault.
Okay. When everybody got him off the project, he finally they had this video of him, kind of like going to the press, drinking that bottle of Henny, which I realized it was the bottle of Henny.
I did not realize it was the bottle of Henny. Oh my God.
Negroes love that Henny, bro. I tell you. And how Brian McKnight as a character, so we didn't really understand what mental health was back then, but I knew there was a problem.
Like, Brian McKnight and Sinbad were in this. Why? Like, who called them and was like, we need you to pretend?
Playing
Donald Glover.
Yeah, like playing is real, and it even talked about how he said, we had some regular pop on there, but he's like, so what you been listening to? Well, I've been listening to this cat Tevin Campbell, which that is Powerline.
Yes, that's Powerline.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was just like, and they had Tevin Campbell was not in the show, which I was like, I wonder if they did try to contact Tevin Campbell. Like,
I bet you $5 they did try and contact him, and he was like, no. Because he doesn't really do a whole lot of interviews and stuff. He just now started, like granting interviews and doing appearances and stuff.
Yeah.
But, bruh, I'm sure they tried to get him because, like, this whole thing to me, I was like, honestly, it seems like it could be true, But it was just so far-fetched. It's like, bro, there's no way possible. When they was, like, talking about his original ending for the movie.
Yeah.
First, they was saying that part of the movie, Goofy and Max was supposed to get pulled over and Goofy was going to get shot. I said, all right, because, boy, what?
Why would you do this?
Then he said,
why would you do that?
At the end of the movie, they was supposed to wander into a thrift store and find the wicker chair that Huey Newton was sitting in.
And Max was sitting there and had like this revelation, like, I
like
knew what this whole trip was about now.
Yo, what? I said, oh my God, this is going off the deep end for real. But it didn't go completely overboard until the very end when they was talking about he died.
Yeah. How he drove off into the lake where his, him and his son were fishing at, but they never found his body, but they found his Goofy shoes in his head.
They took pictures of Goofy shoes and a glove just laying in the lake. I said, you know what?
Yeah.
What is happening?
I heard that this is supposed to be like a retrospect of how Donald Glover first got into the business.
Oh, okay.
Also, because I was trying to find like some backstory of how this episode came to be, because this show was crazy. I enjoyed it. I was like, this is so Atlanta. I was like, but I don't fucking get this show. Keith, I know we've been taking over the conversation much. Your thoughts on this goof by the door?
Yeah, I thought this episode was insane. Like when I threw it on, like I said, like it just started off all documentary style. And I'm like, wait, did I put this on? Like, am I on Disney Plus right now? And I'm like, well, this is legit the episode of Atlanta. Now, excuse me. Not 1,000% sure how accurate this was, but it was pretty entertaining. Just watching urban youths take over Disney.
I was about to say, how many of y'all Google Thomas watched as that Joe was?
There was somebody in the comments who was like, man, I thought I gotta go look this guy up. And then somebody was like, y'all know he not real, right? Like, this didn't really happen. I was like, yo, I know there are people who are gonna run with this now. For sure.
I know I would.
Because nobody fact checks things anymore.
Not at all. He was like, no. Did Don Glover say it? Okay, it's real. It's real. I recommend, if you guys are a fan of Atlanta, y'all should go out there and check out the episode. Who ordered the white rice? That
was wild, bro. Oh my God. He said, I didn't get it.
First of all, he was in there with Athena Howard, Janet Jackson, Robert Townsend, and I forgot who else he was.
I think he said Sinbad. But this is the thing, though. I was like, that's the most randomest list of black people y'all could think of.
So random.
This is so random. I was like, let's make this shit hilarious. Y'all need to go out there and check out Atlanta. This thing is really crazy. And I think y'all gonna have y'all will enjoy it.
Have a good laugh.